Yo producers, welcome back to Hardportal. Today we have a special video because after a long time we are coming back to talking and remaking a dual damage lead. I chose this one in particular because it struck me as an interesting example. It's not exactly what we're used to hearing from them. With this lead template, it stood out as unique. The reason it caught my attention is because this lead isn't what we typically expect from dual damage. There's a pitch modulated screechy element combined with a detuned sound, creating really nice harmonics. I'm also reminded of another video I'll link here about what makes the sound psychedelic. Go watch it after this video. This lead, and all hardstyle leads in general nowadays, play on our senses by aiming for a psychedelic feeling. By psychedelic, I mean creating sound that interact uniquely with our inner musical senses. To achieve this, dual damage focuses on detuned and pitch LFO modulated sounds. Here are the main points for creating this lead. 1. Psychedelic character. We're focusing on making the lead psychedelic, so detuned and pitch LFO modulated sounds are crucial. Mid-octave focus. Instead of emphasizing high-pitched screechy saws, the body leads take center stage and the high-pitched leads just accompany them, creating rich harmonies. 3. Layering strategy. This is particularly interesting because the layering approach dual damage took was unique. If I had to recreate it in 3 layers, a main super saw, kind of EDM style, a screechy lead with a beat of body layered in the sim synthesizer, another strong body lead combined with high super saws. Without further ado, let's dive in and check out this lead. We have one pattern that is made out of separate lead layers. There's also a separate lead layer that's called Zen, that is from Zenology, because I thought the character of the lead just fits. This one is from Zenology. Melody is basically the same as in the other layers we're gonna go around. This one is like the first I wanted to show. I found it pretty interesting that I still needed a layer that sounds kind of like this. So this was like a really screechy and distorted lead. I couldn't replicate this one in the Sylenth, so I just thought I'm gonna go through Zenology, and I knew they had some amazing leads in there. And by the way, that plugin is for free, so I would download it. And the next one in order is separate lead layers. We have a few of those. So the first 2 I think in the mixer are not even used. And now the first one is basically a super saw. With some basic settings, some compression, some distortion, a little bit of mixing. Sometimes I like to do it like this since I'm used to working in Ableton also, where you can put a utility, and I love to use utility. The next one is this one. Okay, so this is the high layer. This is basically the high saw layer, and it's the only high layer that we're gonna use in this lead. Every others are gonna be in the lower octave, like this. Right, very simple layers at first. This lead is not about getting some weird sounding sounds and clashing them together, but rather finding a sound that sounds maybe not as powerful on their own. Most of them are super saws, so I sadly cannot do that. But if I'm gonna play, for example, this one and first layer, they're gonna sound very nice together. They just complement each other, and what I mean by that, the 6th layer adds a really nice voice to it just because of how powerful the super saw is, while the first one had a square wave, half pulse. Back in the days they were used more, and nowadays the leads were mostly made out of saw waves and all. But dual damage sometimes like to use pulse waves, which is kind of funny. A lot of guys in the industry would maybe argue and they would say it's not trendy. Alright, with the high pitch layer, this one was added I think at the end, so this one is not going to sound as good only with these 2 together. So let's hear it. like it's basically a harmonic, like an emotion. Like there is a lead singer and then you have the singers in the background and all around, and this one is just basically for a harmonic, right? It's not like super loud in the mix. The chords, the chords are basically the same. I like to use this preset I made. It's called Sub-Zero Project chords. It's my go-to chords when creating this kind of atmospheric hardstyle. They're like EDM-y, right? Like they just sound really good. And then we have the last layer, which has also been used in some of my other remakes, and I love to use this all wave. It sounds great with almost every lead. Basically, this could be like a lead itself, right? These other leads, when you add them together, they just sound so nice, warm. They're really different from all the other leads. Maybe what I would do further if I was really creating this track, try to polish some frequencies more, of course in the mix down. That's what the lead bus is here for, with all the other layers. And when I turn it on, it sounds like this. Of course, there are some reverb buses and delay buses. I show them in another video. I'm going to link them in the right corner. The bass also has a sub layer because the bass I used wasn't enough to do some EQing and balancing. There is a notebook, took some notes of how low was the volume at first. Yeah, a lot of distortion for this bass because it was really boring by itself. Sub, just the sub, right? Like there is nothing. The sidechain that you can see in the automation, all this stuff in the other video. How the lead sounds with the sidechains, crashes. Also I layered horns just for the ambience. Dual damage they used, like a glittering effect that was used in Sub-Zero Project Laser and also in a lot of dubstep songs. Lasers by Ray Volp. Really fast arpeggio and it sounds really nice, like glittering. You can hear it later in the track if you would go here. What I really wanted to touch in this video is the fact they use square layers. You should experiment with those because I think they're making a comeback in the scene. Also, a free plugin that I recommend is Card Test. What it basically does is what it said it does. If it sounds bad on the card test, pretty sure that it sounds really bad. Let's check it out. As you can hear, it sounds really good. All the bass is there. I just love that plugin. It's just so fun. Instead of inflator, you could use like soft clipper. Everything else you can basically get in this project. Don't forget, this project is going to be free at 400 subscribers. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for your support till now. I hope you like this video. Give me ideas, what you want to see next. Have a nice day and don't be scared to experiment, right? Peace.